Hey, colleagues. So I just wanted to um, basically kind of show a little bit of a workflow that you could use for adding data into Watermark's faculty success and digital measures as you get ready for your reporting of annual evaluations in 2022 to 2023 schedule. So this time we're not allowed to make individual uploads. We have to import directly from Watermark's faculty of success, which means that we need to make sure we have over those time periods from January 2022 all of our information up to date. And this is a little bit onerous, but there's a cool bit of a tool that you can use, which is the CV import, to try to help with this process. And so I'll just demonstrate that a bit. So ultimately, what we're trying to do is fill out these different categories within service, scholarship, and teaching. Also, you should probably update some of the general information as needed, especially if it applies to this year, so like awards and honors. And so I've done this a little bit. So like you can see here that in professional service, I've added in this role as a program reviewer for Fort Lewis College that I'm working on right now, and then 2 peer reviews that I did over the past year. And if you go into these, you'll see that there's a lot of detail that can include, and they really want to know the start and end dates of everything. And that's critical for generating their reports within a specific time period. Also, especially if you're thinking about an RTP review for promotion to tenure or promotion to full professor, it's really important to upload supporting documents because administration really doesn't believe us if we just enter something and we don't have anything backing it up. So I've been trying to do that. So let's go back to activities. I'll just show you how we can do a CV import and just for one category. So I'm going to doing this piecemeal one at a time. So if we click on CV imports, we can see one appearing up there already. I actually have a couple here. So originally I started this back in January when Wei Hong told us that basically we'd have to have our activity reports up to date to file our annual reports this year. I found that, trying to go from the beginning of time was a bit much. So instead, I edited my CV down to just January 2022 to present. So there's less to kind of sift through because that's what I want to get in there first so I can file my annual report. I'll need to add more so I can do a promotion file in the future. But I would recommend just pulling your CV. You can upload it as a Word doc, probably as a PDF too, and then paring it down to the relevant time period to start with. So I'll open that up and show you an example. So basically, the first thing it does is opens the file. You can see roughly a preview of it, and then you choose to select activity types that you want to fill in. So just for an example, I'll choose a departmental service, and I'll just enter a few examples for this video because I haven't done that one yet. So department service, it tells us once we click on that category, it's going to ask us to highlight things that are relevant to this entry. When prompted, highlight text to extract information from your CV. So now I clicked OK. It's like, oh, here's the highlight instructions. All entries that you'd like to add as department. It's supposed to say service records, but hopefully you remember what you're doing. So for me, I can scroll down. You can see it's pared down to just a few presentations and some service. So here's my UVU Department of Earth Science service. So I didn't want to highlight that because it's not an entry, so we'll remove that. Highlight, then we scroll down. Okay, so I want things below here. So I'll just do 2 for an example. There's more to do, but I'll keep the video shorter. So when I click, after highlighting, I click next, and then it shows me that it's made 2 entries. So that's perfect. If somehow they were linked, you could merge or split them. Depending on the formatting of your CV, that might be necessary. So the first thing it wants you to do is starts and end dates. And sometimes they'll let you do things for highlighting things, but yeah, so I guess not in this case. So RTP, I started January of this year, so 2023. And for curriculum revision, that was something that went on last spring, so I'll put March 2023. You don't necessarily have to have a day for all entries, so that's helpful. So then I click next and click end date, and here they're ongoing. The first one is, so I'm not going to put an end date there. And the second one, I guess that was done. The curriculum revision was basically done at the end of June. So I'll just put June 30th, 2022. Yeah. So interestingly, for these service ones, it's not asking me to do titles or anything like that, which is a little bit annoying because that means I'm going to have to do a lot more work, but it's going to give me the base entries as I go into the activity report to edit further. Whew, so that's going to be some work. For some other things like highlighting presentations, it's a lot easier. They let you highlight that title and things like that, and it extracts that for you. I was hoping that it would say like this committee name and go from there. Let me just see if, yeah, no. Now here, so I've done the end dates. Yep. So if I go to review department, okay, so I can actually do a little bit of editing here. So I can, oh no. No, I can't edit the names. Oh, it does have the entry, but it won't let me do anything more. So I'm going to go ahead and click next. Okay, and so I can review the 2 records. See if I can edit any more if I edit the record. No, it's really disappointing because it's going to just show up as record 1 and record 2. So in this case, it's not going to be very helpful. And so if you had 20 records and all you have to go on is the start and end dates, it's going to be a little bit cumbersome. The CV import's not going to be very helpful. So I'll say import them though, just so we can go back to activities and we can see that now that those entries are there. But I need to go in there, and it didn't capture the committee name, which was the whole point, basically. So the first one was retention, tenure, and promotion committee department of earth science. I don't know what to put in here, but sounds good. And I'm just a committee member. Number of hours spent per year is a great question. You don't necessarily have to fill that out, but you could. We spent a number of hours editing promotion documents. I'll say 4. I guess it's elected. It's not compensated. But again, you don't have to answer all these questions to get an entry on here. Key accomplishments, edited department promotion guidelines. And I don't have a supporting document, so I need to ask Dan or Weihong to get me a file on this at some point. So then I would say save. Now it looks much better because I have the committee name. The other one was curriculum revision. Geo, Geog, and that's it. I'll say chair. This was more work. I'm going to say it's 40 hours of work. I guess I appointed myself, definitely not compensated. Submitted curriculum revisions for the following programs, which were approved. Yes, Geo, yes. Geography, minor earth science, minor geography. Also, you submitted new entry point courses for including Geo 1030, Geo 1040, Geo 1050, in collaboration with Dr. Stearns. Check. And yeah, I should add in probably the approvals of some of these things, but I'll do that later. Let me save this. Okay, so now I've got a couple of entries. I should do the other ones as well. Let me go back to CV imports. So hopefully you can still find your old CVs. So let's see if I can select one that shows you a bit more. Well, these aren't accurate because these are manuscripts in preparation, but let's say, imagine I had, I have scholarship research currently in progress and future plans. So that's perfect. So continue. So it's asking me to highlight that. So let me highlight the manuscripts in preparation. Okay, so I've got my 5 entries. Next thing, it's like, okay, let's highlight some stuff. Collaborations, title, status. Great. So let's start with title. So this is better because now we can get a title about each of the entries. And so this is really helpful. Just highlight the title section within your entry. And then you can add collaborators. Now, if This is interesting. Sometimes it shows only people at UVU, and so you might have to edit this afterwards. So if it is a person at a UVU, like you can see in here, Dr. Chaika is here. So you can add that in, and Dr. Nelson. So you just grab, make sure you grab the correct entry. And then the cool thing about this, okay, let's add a row here, that up, and that's me. Yeah, I don't know why it's not letting me add the students. Students, you can't, I don't think you can search for like Kristen Smith as a student. I think it only does employees and faculty, perhaps. So I'm gonna leave that alone. So I got a few on there. And I could keep going, but that's just for example. So I'll just continue on, and then status. So I'm just going to say ongoing for everything. And then it's like, okay, I'm going to get these entries. Oh, so I need to add, so if we go back to collaborators, to proceed, you have to at least put yourself on here. Okay. So that's no problem. But I'm going to have to move myself around because I'm not necessarily the first author on everything. So next, update entries, next, import. So now go back to activities and we can look at, that was under currently in progress scholarship. So there those entries are, and this is a lot more helpful because I can see titles, and so I can go in and edit these. This column right here shows whether or not this is going to show up on your faculty page. If you don't want people to see what you're working on and see every entry, you turn those off. And so if we go back into this one, the thing that I had not quite right was I needed some collaborators. And so in here, you can add another collaborator, like this is Kristen Smith's project, actually. Oh. And this is UVU. I don't know why it's not showing up there. It's probably not important to fill that out. But student, yeah, this is an undergraduate student, so that's cool. And then she's actually the first collaborator. She's above me, and I should be second. And then there's other people that I need to add, but I won't do that right here. It's ongoing research, it's scholarly, and Kristen is writing this up for publication in the journal Seismica, extending her ERSCA funded undergraduate work in collaboration with David Johnson and UVU Earth Science faculty. I guess I should say what this is about. The project documents the paleoseismic history of the Genola North Fault in Utah County. Save. Okay, so yeah, that's, this is a little bit better of a demonstration for how the CV imports can kind of get you started, get an entry into the system, and then you can go in and kind of fill things in. I had to type a little bit less, but you can see I didn't highlight everything perfectly here. I'm missing a T. So it's gonna take a bit of work to edit everything. And that's why I say start with CV imports and just work on the past years since January 2022, which is what we're reporting on, I believe. Okay, hopefully you find this helpful, but I'm going to stop this video here.